Usually it's like, oh, you're recording now.
There it is.
Okay, I think here we are. Um, so thank you again for joining us this morning. This is the Pencil info session. We are going to learn a lot about what Pencil does, what we have to offer, and how we connect the community to Metro Nashville Public Schools. And I'm going to turn it over to our Chief Partnerships and Programs Officer, Bob Kuchar, first, and then we'll roll through it.
Thank you, Elena. Hello, Pam, Dion. Thanks for joining us this. As Elena said, my name is Bob Kuchar. I'm the Chief Partnerships and Programs Officer, soon to celebrate my 8th anniversary coming up this summer. My goal for this morning is simply to say hello and welcome. Thank you for attending to learn more about Pencil's work and mission and vision. I also wanted to jump in this morning to support our new Director of Partnerships. Elena Kate has been most recently promoted from our partnership team. And as the team rotates through leading these information sessions, today just happens to be Elena's lucky day to host yet another information session. So I wanted to be here to simply help her kick off another wonderful hour of information and just let her know that she is being supported by her teammates. So welcome, everyone. Hello. And again, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Bob. And I do know that you'll be jumping out a little early, so that's totally fine. You can just wave as you depart. So Pencil, we are a 41-year-old almost, in March will be 41, nonprofit education resource organization. And Pencil is actually an acronym that means Public Education Needs Community Involvement and Leadership. And I will go ahead and click through this. So Pencil has had the same mission, vision, and values for basically the duration of the nonprofit's life cycle. Our mission is to link community resources to Metro Nashville Public Schools to help young people achieve academic success and prepare for life. Our vision, we create a world where MNPS students and teachers have equitable access to resources and opportunities, empowering students to succeed now and in the future. And then our values. Our work is guided by the needs of Metro Nashville Public Schools. Is student-centric, is achieved through intentional partnerships and tangible engagements. And so maybe the most important part of this slide is Pencil is student-centric, and we work right with the school district in every step of the way. Pencil began from this lovely woman here, and I'm going to stop sharing and then find the YouTube video that links to. Give you a little bit of like history of Pencil before we move forward. Include computer sound. Yes, I always messed it up. Okay.
I'm Sue Spickard. I am happily a lifetime member of the board of directors of the Pencil Foundation. I was a product of public education until I went to college. I taught school in Baltimore in a very deprived area. I taught again in Bethesda, Maryland, in a very privileged area. And I really could not find a lot of difference in the capabilities of the children. And that really impacted me. So back in 1981, some representatives from the Junior League, the League of Women Voters, the beginnings of Leadership Nashville, and some educational people, small group, met for several times. And the League of Women Voters had worked on education for a very long time, and they had an excellent position paper on Nashville's needs and what it would look like if community gathered together. We have had a wonderful history. To me, it's just a prototype for what a community can do to bring so many groups together. It goes back to always working with MNPS about programming, number one. And so everybody comes to it on a grassroots level. I do want to say that it's been an incredible melding of community in such a major way with such a major issue. And it's just kudos to all our heroes through the years who've made it happen, the staff and the volunteers. That meant everything to me.
Okay. While I'm switching back to the slideshow, why don't I allow Pam and Dion, and I guess I can also do this, introduce yourselves and tell us why you're here today or how you heard about this session. Oh, somebody is talking but muted.
Okay,
Oh,
now
there
I
we
thought
go.
I hit it. Sorry about that. Hi, Bob. Nice to meet you. And I met Helena at the TLAC luncheon, and
Yeah.
she gave me her short elevator spiel about pencil, and I was like, oh my gosh, I've got to learn a little bit more about it. So my responsibility, I handle the culture and engagement here. So it's part of our diversity, equity, inclusion, but also lead what's called a multicultural task force. And part of that is to increase our Hispanic Latino team members and also our customers, but also to connect to our communities. And so one component of that is to work in our educational system. And so it was timely when you mentioned that. So I wanted to learn more about it, how we can get connected. We do offer volunteer VTO days here. So, I think it'd just be a good partnership for us, for me to learn
Yeah.
a little bit more about it and go from there.
I'm so glad you're here, and I'm glad I met you at the TLAC luncheon. We had some great food and conversations, so thank you. Yes.
Yes.
Pam, just hearing you introduce yourself in your role, I look forward to you experiencing like the next 45 to 50 minutes of this information session, because I feel 100% you're going to be able to make very, very significant and powerful connections between what you're driven to do and what Pencil is able to help make real experiences for folks, and make really wonderful, strong connections. So I think this is going to be a good 45-minute information session for you.
Okay, good.
And I'm Dion Dixon. I'm the new business manager here at the Pencil Foundation. This is my second week here, so I'm just here just kind of learn all the things.
Thank you.
And
And
also, before we go on, I've invited somebody from our marketing team to come down, so you may see another face pop in.
Okay.
I'm hoping she's got enough time, and I should have invited her earlier. So if you do see somebody come down and swing in, her name is Kathy.
okay,
So,
awesome. Not a problem at all. And I am, like Bob said, Elena Kate, the new director of partnerships for Pencil. I've been with Pencil for about 2 years. And before that, I was a music teacher in a K-8 school in Indiana. And Pencil really made a lot of sense to me. So I just have stuck around and plan to do so a little bit longer. I'll go back into a little bit more about what is Pencil and all of the other types of things that we offer for volunteers and business partners and otherwise. So a little bit about what we have accomplished in the last fiscal year, so the last school year, 21-22. We try to remove barriers and provide access to resources for all stakeholders in metro schools. And so we have a really rigorous data recording process, and we use Salesforce to calculate community investment numbers. And so during that last school year, we had 23,118 total volunteer hours recorded, $2.95 million in distributed supplies to teachers and schools, and then $4.69 million in total community investment. And so that means the number of volunteer hours kind of calculated into a dollar amount, as well as the distributed supplies that we have been able to spread across the city. Our primary 3 service areas are partnerships, our DG Pencil Box, and tutoring programs. And so partnerships can look very different for every relationship that we establish. Each school has different needs, and Pencil staff go out to the schools, establish the needs, ask the schools what their gaps might be, and then we come to our partner network and try and fulfill those needs for schools. The same goes with businesses. Pam was saying there's some paid volunteer or volunteer allowances for her staff members, and so we can try and fulfill those needs as well with the school communities. The DG Pencil Box is the free teacher school supply store. So all Metro Nashville Public School teachers who have that .mnps.org email address can sign up to come shop 4 times per year at the DG Pencil Box. And that's also where our office space is held. So that's where Bob and Dion are right now, and I'll be there shortly. The DG Pencil Box, Dollar General is the main funder for that and is completely operated by volunteers. And so we have volunteers come in as groups or individuals to help stock the shelves, to help create manipulatives for teachers to grab to use in their classrooms. And so there's lots of ways to get involved there as well. And then the tutoring program, we are recruiters and hire tutors for the Accelerating Scholars Program. And so that is a district-led initiative to kind of make up that learning loss that happened over the learning at home years, the COVID years. And so we pair volunteers from the community one-to-one with students through this program to tutor in English literature or English literacy and math literacy. So those are the 3 main buckets of how we engage the community in schools. And I'll pause right there if you have any questions, Pam or Dion.
In regards to the tutor student, is there a what's the time frame on tutoring, and how does that work?
That's a good question. Bob, you want to take that?
Sure. While I'm here, I'll take that little lift while I can. So Pam, the Accelerating Scholars Program is a definite commitment from an individual tutor. So it is basically a semester-based commitment, and the volunteer needs to agree to meeting with their student 3 times a week for a half hour each session. So you're looking at an hour and a half a week for a semester. There is a rigorous training program on the front end, and lots of support throughout, but definitely a commitment. And so we realize that there are certain individuals and certain company groups that fits very nicely with, but we also understand that commitment sometimes and that routine and pattern does not necessarily work with everybody's work schedule.
Sure.
And so it's definitely rewarding. We see many tutors come back again and again to sign up for a new semester. And if that is a potential outlet or a potential engagement moment for you and your team, we can definitely send you more detailed information about the training and about the general program itself.
Okay.
Thank you, Bob.
Mhm.
We will continue on, and if you have any questions, just feel free to jump in and pause. The way we calculate community investment numbers, those numbers that were on a couple slides ago, we ask the community to whoever's volunteering or donating to schools to use Pencil Me In to log those investments and log those hours. So an example of that is a partner logging hours from volunteering at a school. It's as simple as clicking a link or a bookmark on your phone, typing in the fields that populate, and then hitting submit. And we ask our volunteers, our pencil partners, to do that every time that they're going to schools or planning or doing partnership council or any of the things that are possible. Partners can also log in-kind donations. So a lot of times, you may be going to do guest speaking, but you also bring a case of water for that class. That's also an investment we like to have captured. One thing I can make sure to say right now is that Pencil does not ask for donations, and we do not ask for any kind of in-kind donations for schools. Those kinds of things can come naturally with the relationship building, but what we're here to do is build partnerships between a community member and a school. And then from there, those kinds of things would come later. Another great thing about Pencil Me In is that we can share reports from this with the partner. So we are sharing reports and totals with the school district because we work side by side, but a lot of times business people like to see those numbers too. And so that community investment total year to year can look really good for your business and for your employees to feel good about something that they're doing in the community. So that's something that I wanted to highlight.
Elena,
Yes.
most companies choose a school to partner with. So we would say acceptance chooses, I don't know, whatever school that's part of this program. Is that what they normally do and kind of stick with that school?
Yep, and that's normally what happens for several reasons. One could be proximity, where the headquarters is located, maybe closest to one of those schools.
Mhm.
It could also be from an academy's choice. And so something that is not on this slide or on really in this slide deck is the Academies of Nashville is the model of our high schools here. I don't know how familiar you are, but I'll just
I am.
okay. And so some academies really fit well for a business person who's maybe in that industry and wants to
Yes.
spread the expertise there. So, but yes, to answer your question, we like to pair up a business with one school so that it's a personal relationship,
Mm-hmm.
and then that can grow over time and expand as well. So maybe there's a school that you can add the next, year, or if there's a good fit.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me.
Question.
Yes.
How does a school partner with Pencil?
That's a
Like,
good
what's the
question.
process? Yeah, what's the process?
Yeah, that's a good question. The school district is actually one of the funders of Pencil. So we have a small grant that we get from them every year to do this work. And so really the schools don't the schools don't opt in or out. They're just part of our portfolio of service. And so every school in the school district is a part of how we bring partners. So I guess, Bob, how would you answer that? How do schools partner with Pencil?
Sure, absolutely. So great question, Dion. The ways in which all schools across the district, and I believe now there's 153 schools in the district, pre-K through high school, those relationships look different in general according to tier level. So the ways in which Pencil communicates and responds to elementary schools, middle schools, and high schools differs simply because of the curriculum and the needs of the tier levels. I'm going to put this in just general buckets. Ways in which Pencil's able to match make resources between elementary schools and the business community for low level grades is a lot about activities like field day, teacher appreciation, first day of school, reading buddies, classroom buddies, obviously making sure that young folks have book bags full of the school supplies they need. Those are a lot of the ways in which partners and individuals have relationships at the elementary level. At the middle school level, a lot of the need is around STEAM experiences, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math experiences. So many of our partners provide what's called excursions for classrooms and or grade levels. It's about making sure children are exposed to the Nashville Zoo, the Nashville Symphony, the Nashville Ballet, the Frisk Center. Those types of excursions give students the opportunity to explore what a potential career would look like in those fields. Lots of guest speaking happens where industry professionals come into the classroom and help team teach a lesson at the middle school level. At the high school level, it is really a systematic model that has been adopted by the district. So relationships that are created through Pencil partners at the high school level is a lot about career exploration, professional preparedness. Again, a lot about site visits and field trips to industries and corporations and businesses, along with job shadow experiences and internships. So again, just to repeat it, relationships and partnerships look different according to tier level. We do have like a menu of options that we have developed over time with the district. So when Elena talks about the needs and or the gaps within schools, that menu of options allows us to go out into the community and be that matchmaker. So when we're talking to somebody like Pam, we can more fully understand Pam's work, Pam's team, what they are looking to do, and then it's easier for us to kind of make that match if you think about us being the matchmaker.
Okay.
Thank you, Bob.
You're welcome.
Oh, wait. So after Pencil Me In, the community investment data and the hours logged and different things go into Salesforce, which is how we're able to pull those reports. We also encourage virtual engagements and interactions through Pencil Connect, which is our newest and probably most promising virtual platform where you can sign up to be a guest speaker and schedule one-to-one with teachers immediately. It's kind of like a virtual booking agent. And then there's also a new feature on this where you can browse volunteer opportunities in the schools. So if you know about like Hands on Nashville or other kind of volunteer pages that you can select volunteer opportunities from, Pencil Connect also has that capacity and is specific to Metro Nashville Public Schools. So we have asked someone in the school what the school does, what does the school need, and then we're posting that event to Pencil Connect to hope that someone from our network can fulfill that need. And so I think at the end of this, we'll have an opportunity to look and explore Pencil Connect, but I'll continue with the Proudly Pencil virtual learning series, which is basically our YouTube channel. We have volunteers throughout the community who have created 3 different buckets, a video within 3 different buckets of our playlist, if you will. The elementary playlist is about reading and literacy. And so we have volunteer readers on that playlist. Then there's the middle school STEAM playlist, which Bob was mentioning earlier, where different organizations from the community have created like how to cook a certain thing and talk about the science behind that and just share that with us that we can share with the school teachers. And then the college and career advice bucket is for our high school students in the academies, and those can be used in each of the industry clusters. So the possibilities are really endless with Proudly Pencil if that's something that would fit a volunteer need a little bit better.
Elena,
We
while
have,
I'm
yeah, go
sorry,
ahead.
Elena, while I'm still here, can I jump in on that slide?
Yeah.
The previous, right? So, really quickly, just because I was looking at some numbers around Proudly Pencil just yesterday, we have over 450 curated videos from our partners on our YouTube channel. And I think we just went over 10,000 views. Of course, we don't know if all those views came from MNPS classrooms and or students, but we're really happy with where it went. And most specifically, I was looking at a video that was created for our high school bucket from a gentleman named Justin Kirby, who's a professor at Lipscomb. He teaches pharmacy. And so he's partnered with Overton High School's Academy of Pharmacy. And so he had done a Proudly Pencil video. And I was just looking at that the other day and looking at how many views and how many folks have utilized his expertise and kind of listened to his journey about what got him into that profession. And so it's addictive to get on there and start listening to these videos from our neighbors and folks from across Nashville. It's addicting to kind of start watching what people are expressing to high school students.
I think, thank you for adding that. I think that's my favorite part is that these videos are from people in Nashville and neighbors who could become pencil partners or pencil partners who maybe they've seen the video and then they go to the class the next day and that person is in front of them. And so that's something cool that comes from Proudly Pencil.
Definitely a way to build community. And then I also wanted to say to Pam around Pencil Connect, as Elena was talking about the new school event postings that are on Pencil Connect. These are one-time volunteer moments. I know that just yesterday, Robert Churchwell Elementary was looking for 17 individuals to come one time only to read with students. That is a low lift, a one-time opportunity. Schools push out these events, whether it's a field day, a reading day, a day that a playground needs to be cleaned up. But it gives us a hook to bring in these one-time volunteers, invite them into the family to see if they want to be kind of a long-term, ongoing volunteer and or a rep for their company and or their business. again, just to repeat, this might be a very great outlet to begin with for your team, and they can see volunteer opportunities, one-time volunteer opportunities across the city inside schools.
Thank you, Bob. Okay. Oh, okay. See you later. Oh, we're really wrapping it up in just a few minutes anyway. And Bob has departed. See you later, Bob. Pencil has several fundraising events because we are a nonprofit organization and we do rely on individual donors, corporate donors. We fundraise all of our revenue and all of our budget. And so we have some fun events. Our birthday bash is in March, and last year was our 40th birthday, which is why we've got this, big extravagant, 40 logo and different things. But that was kind of just a fun celebration moment of all the work that we've been able to do in 40 years. Not necessarily a fundraising event, but our biggest, most important and signature fundraising event every year is a little night of music, and that is at the Grand Ole Opry. And Creative Artist Agency, who is the main sponsor and partner in that event, will surprise us with a high-level celebrity to perform at the Opry. And so it's really fun. Right up until the week before the event, we don't even know who's going to be performing. And so people who are buying tickets to this, really love Pencil and love what we do and care about public education in the city of Nashville, but also find it kind of fun that there's going to be a celebrity guest performance. And last year was Lady A with, I forget who the opener was, but there's usually an opener and then like the headliner. And that's probably my favorite event that we have. And then the next more upcoming engagement, the third thing here, is Together for Teachers. And that's always in the summer, just before the school year starts. All the teachers in the school district are invited, and Adrian Battle, the director of schools, gives a few words, and then there's some prize giveaways for teachers, and we are loading them up with school supplies to take on their first week of teaching. So that's a whole lot of fun as well. That's not comprehensive, but those are kind of the next three in order. And then there is our info at, but Pam, you don't need that because you've got my information as well. And I believe that you've already scanned the QR code from the first slide. So I'm gonna unshare, and we can just have a Q&A or conversation if there's anything else that you were wondering or want to talk more about.
Couple of questions. One, can I get a copy of this session? Okay,
Sure.
Let's definitely need a copy. I want a couple people want to send it to.
Okay.
And I can't remember. Can you? I know we talked about choosing a school, but I understand that there's some people that probably really want to work with kids, and some want to work with people that are teenagers. So
Yeah.
I'm guessing we can do a combination of the two.
Yeah, and it's going to totally depend on what you and your staff are wanting to do. Again, we like to build those relationships, so it's really nice to start out at one school. But if you've got a group that wants to do high school stuff and a group that wants to do elementary school stuff, we can definitely tailor that relationship for you and for your business so that we can build relationships at 2 different places or 3 different places, whatever makes the most sense, and wherever the schools are saying, hey, yeah, we would really need this.
Do you guys offer any pre-written media guides or anything? So let's just say we want to put it on our intranet. I mean, we have a department that can create it, but do you have anything you said, hey, you know what, if you want to start doing this, these are some of the things you can use? Do you have any kind of toolkits created?
We have a few, I guess they're a little bit older, like one-pagers and different things of how to get started and how to be the best pencil partner at different tier levels. And I'd have to dig those out of the archive somewhere. But we really, the way we like to do introductions is just pencil staff would go with you to the school. You would meet whoever the partner liaison is. Usually it's going to be a principal, a community site coordinator, or an academy coach if we're at the high school level.
Yeah.
And then they will kind of take you under their wing and give you their, preferred best
Their
practices
needs
or
or
whatever. Yeah,
whatever.
and
Okay.
sometimes that's like the classroom teacher will say, I'm doing a lesson on this thing next week. Do you have someone who can speak to it? The academy coach would say, can you guys speak to this thing? And then you'd have a little time to prepare for something that specific.
Mhm,
Um, the tutoring, the accelerating scholars tutoring, the high intensity, really frequent one, that has
mhm,
a lot of training up front.
mhm.
So it kind of just depends on what the activities are that you guys would want to do, but
Okay.
we could come up with some.
So Elena, to get started, is there any type of fee or anything to get started, or you just, I tell you, this is what we're thinking of doing? Of course, part of our push is to really make sure we create partnerships in the Hispanic Latino market. So there's
Mhm.
probably maybe some pencil schools
Yep.
in those communities.
Yes.
So how does it start? And Dion, I'm so sorry. This is my last question. I promise. I'm not taking over the call.
That's a great question. And so, firstly, there is no fee. There will never be a fee. We do all of this for free. We even do free background checks for our volunteers. So that's
Mhm.
another thing that I'll send you as a follow-up is like, here's the next step for you to complete this like partnership registration, or if you already know of the school that you think you want to be in.
Mhm.
If not, me and my team will come up with a few ideas. I know that Metro Nashville has a very high um, uh, EL and Hispanic population. And
Yes.
so, you really can't go wrong with any of the schools, but we do have like a list of the percentages of where
Okay.
your population will be most needed.
Okay.
And Pencil, there was Quinn was with me when we sat down to eat at TLAC. And so he's our Spanish language partnership manager. And so he may be the one that's like, okay, Pam, this is where we're finding that there's a need, and this is where your team can really help the most.
Okay.
So we like to do that. And then we would just take you over to the school, make some introductions, and kind of like slowly hand you off to the school
Okay.
where they will be the ones telling you what they need all the time, because we're not in the schools every day.
Okay.
They
I
are.
see. Okay.
But we like to make these introductions and be the matchmaker, and then also keep track of the engagements for the schools.
Okay.
So when people are going out and doing things and investing, we can see the totals. And then that helps us to see, okay, well, there's a school over here that had nothing, and we haven't had any partners at this school in X amount of years. So it's just something that we love to be really diligent about.
Okay. Sounds good.
Any other pencil questions? I'll stop recording, and then I'll be sure to download this and send it to you.
Okay.
Okay.